Welcome to a gritty look at some of the world's most dangerous cities. In these metropolises, danger lurks on the corners, where violence and crime are a daily reality for many of its inhabitants. From armed conflicts to the dominance of organized crime, each of these cities faces unique challenges that make them among the most dangerous on the planet. In this video, we will explore the reasons behind this danger and understand the complexities behind these urban realities. 1. San Pedro Sula, Honduras. High homicide rate. San Pedro Sula has one of the highest homicide rates in the world, driven by drug trafficking and the presence of gangs. Gang violence. Criminal gangs, such as Mara Salvatrucha, MS-13, and Barrio 18, have a strong presence in the city, contributing to widespread violence. Extreme poverty. Poverty and a lack of economic opportunities push many young people into crime and violence. 2. Caracas, Venezuela. Economic and political crisis. Economic and political instability in Venezuela has led to an increase in crime, including robberies, kidnappings, and homicides. Gun violence, easy access to firearms, and a lack of law enforcement contribute to widespread violence on the city's streets. Social instability. Protests and social unrest are common due to the ongoing political and economic crisis. 3. Cape Town, South Africa. Despite its natural beauty, Cape Town faces high rates of homicide, gang violence, and socioeconomic inequalities, especially in areas such as the Cape Flats neighborhoods. There we have gang violence. Gangs operate in many areas of Cape Town, especially in the Cape Flats neighborhoods, contributing to high rates of homicide and related crimes. Socioeconomic inequalities. The city faces significant economic disparities, with many communities living in poverty and struggling to access educational and employment opportunities. Violent crime. In addition to gang-related crimes, the city also faces problems with assaults, robberies, and other violent crimes.
Artlist.io.
For Tegucigalpa, Honduras. Gang violence. Tegucigalpa is affected by the presence of criminal gangs, such as MS-13 and Barrio 18, which are involved in extortion, kidnappings, and homicides.
Music licensing.
Drug trafficking. The city is an important transit point for drug trafficking, which contributes to violence and instability. Poverty and inequality. Widespread poverty and lack of economic opportunities push many young people into crime and violence. 5. Acapulco, Mexico. Acapulco has been a center of conflict between drug cartels, resulting in violent clashes, shootings, and murders related to drug trafficking. Affected tourism. Acapulco's reputation for violence has significantly affected the region's tourism industry, with many visitors avoiding the area due to security concerns. Extortion and organized crime. Organized crime has a strong presence in Acapulco, with reports of extortion from local businesses, as well as kidnappings and robberies targeting tourists and residents. Insecurity on the streets. The increase in crime and violence on the streets of Acapulco has made the city a dangerous place to walk at night, with reports of muggings and armed robberies. Presence of gangs. Criminal gangs operate in several areas of Acapulco, contributing to the atmosphere of insecurity and violence in the city. 6. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Urban violence. Rio de Janeiro faces high crime rates, including homicides, robberies, thefts, and assaults, especially in areas known as favelas, where the presence of drug trafficking is stronger. Organized crime and drug trafficking. Drug trafficking is a reality in many communities in Rio, controlled by criminal organizations, which contributes to violence and instability in certain areas of the city. Gang violence. Criminal gangs also operate in some parts of Rio de Janeiro, involved in clashes with the police and other rival factions, which can result in shootings and armed clashes. Social inequality. Socioeconomic inequality is evident in Rio de Janeiro, with significant disparities between rich and poor areas, which can fuel crime and violence in some more marginalized communities. Tourist muggings. Although tourism is an important part of Rio's economy, tourists are subject to muggings and thefts in certain areas of the city, especially in popular tourist locations such as beaches and viewpoints. 7. Ciudad Juarez,
Music
Mexico.
licensing reimagined.
Drug trafficking-related violence. As a city on the border with the United States, Ciudad Juarez has been a flashpoint between rival drug cartels, resulting in high homicide rates and drug trafficking-related violence. Extortion and kidnappings. Organized crime in Ciudad Juarez is involved in activities such as extortion, kidnappings, and extortion of local businesses and residents. Human trafficking. Due to its border location, Ciudad Juarez is also a hotspot for human trafficking, with cases of kidnapping and human trafficking occurring in the city. Femicides. The city has gained sad notoriety for being a place where women are often targets of violence, resulting in a worrying rate of femicides. Gang presence. Criminal gangs operate in Ciudad Juarez, contributing to violence and instability in the city. '8. Napoli, Italy. Italian Mafia. Camorra Napoli is known to be a center of activity for the Italian Mafia, especially the Camorra, which is involved in a wide range of criminal activities, including drug trafficking, extortion and money laundering. Mafia-related violence. The presence of the Italian Mafia contributes to high levels of violence and instability in the city, with murders and conflicts between different criminal groups. Corruption and political influence. The Italian Mafia often has influence over political and economic institutions in Napoli, which can hamper efforts to combat organized crime and ensure public safety. '9. St. Louis, Missouri, USA. Gun violence. St. Louis has one of the highest homicide rates in the United States, with gun violence a persistent problem in the city, especially in certain urban neighborhoods. Racial and socioeconomic inequality. Significant socioeconomic disparities contribute to violence and crime in St. Louis, with many marginalized communities facing poverty, unemployment, and lack of access to opportunities. Gangs and drug trafficking. Criminal gangs operate in some areas of St. Louis, involved in activities such as drug trafficking, robberies and As our tour of some of the world's most dangerous cities comes to an end, it's clear that these places are facing profound and multifaceted challenges. Despite the shadows of violence and danger, it is important to remember that each of these cities is made up of resilient people who fight to overcome these obstacles and build a safer future. May this video not only alert us to the dangers faced by many communities around the world, but also inspire us to seek solutions and promote peace and safety in every city.